Alright, true story, I was once homeless. Kinda, sorta, not really. But this video is about being homeless. There's many situations where you could be homeless, whether it's by choice, you was forcefully homeless, you got sick, in different circumstances. So we're gonna watch many different videos in this conversations on homelessness.
Become homeless?
Bad choices in life. I was molested as a kid and started doing drugs at age 12. But I've been homeless since 30 years old. I'm 42 now. I've been doing dope since I was 17.
So you've been homeless for 12 years.
Not too many of my friends can say that.
Now, how many meals would you say you can get in a day?
Probably like one.
One meal a day?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's by choice.
By choice?
I could eat like 4 or 5 times a day.
So why by choice? What is making you?
Choice. I'd rather inject my meals. Put it that way.
How does somebody in your situation survive in the streets of Philadelphia?
Stay in your own lane and stay away from the drama.
Do you have family in the area?
I have an older sister. She lives in Northeast Philly.
Do you keep in contact with her at all, or?
I do not right now. I also have a 15-year-old kid that I'm not in contact with right now.
Stays with her?
With his mom, yeah.
If you had 3 wishes, what would your 3 wishes be, and why?
Get my kid back in my life. Every time I reach in my pocket, I pull out a 20. And a nice house on the beach in Florida.
Hey, so this circumstance right here is like probably half the reason half the people are homeless is that, yes, it's gonna come to drugs, but there's a reason why people are doing drugs. Like he said, he didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm gonna just try to do drugs one day and get addicted to it. That's not the case. Something usually happens when you get addicted to a drug that makes you want to take drugs just to escape life. And this dude, he's been homeless for 12 years, got a family. He got a kid that he want to see, and he doesn't risk to continue to be homeless. Like he said, he want a house on the beach in Florida. You know, he want to be able to eat every day, but he's so addicted to drugs that he eat 1 meal a day and then the rest that he injects. So this is probably one of the most stereotypical ways people see homeless people, but just remember that they're people too, and they're going through life and have their problems just like everybody else. So let's take another look at another video.
Let's talk about how easy it is to be homeless and why you shouldn't judge because it could easily be you.
That's number one rule. I don't judge nobody for anything, especially homeless people above me. No matter what the circumstances is, just don't judge people because one day you can end up in that exact situation. And I know you're saying, hey, that would never happen to me. There's a lot of people that's homeless that say, hey, that would never happen to me, that's actually homeless. And she's going to give an example on how easy it is.
So for the longest time, just like any, regular, like early 20s, teenager, I was living with my mom and, I was staying with her. I had my own room, own bathroom, and we were moving. We were moving in November of 2022. So our lease was up for our apartment that we were currently at. So we were moving to another apartment. So before my mom could sign the new lease for the new apartment, she was hospitalized, and that's when she had passed.
Dang, that's sad. That's so sad.
When she had passed, and I, was living with my mom like most kids, most young adults. Like I was living with my mom. So when she died, and obviously, like I couldn't afford a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and I couldn't, take on the responsibility. I was then left in a situation where I had nowhere to go. I don't have, family outside of my mom. Like me and my mom, like we were our only family.
Yeah.
So when it came to figuring out where I was gonna live when she had passed, I was homeless. I was put in a homeless situation overnight. Like over fucking night. Like I was excited to move in to my new place. I was ready to, decorate, and just like that, I was homeless over fucking night. And I never thought it was going to be me. I never thought I was going to be in that situation until I was.
And there's absolutely nothing that she could have done about that situation. Some people, you know, there's a family member that passes away, and then you have no other family members or friends in that city. And things was going good. They was moving apartments, probably going to a bigger apartment. Now all of a sudden, she has to worry about bills, finding a place to stay. She's a teenager. Her mom just passed, and you think she's about to worry about finding a job, a quick job, just to try to. She's a young kid, a teenager. You can't even sign a lease. So that's tough, and unfortunately, that happened to a lot of people. Like I said, only probably 50% of the people that you see are the stereotypical homeless people, but a lot of times people are just in bad situations that's outside of their control, that they have nothing that they could do about it, and they ended up homeless, leading down a bad path. But a lot of people actually end up recovering. I hope she ends up doing well in the future.
How the f did I become homeless? Stay tuned to find out. That's the #1 question I get asked. I answer that question. The reason I became homeless is because there was a lot of issues with my marriage, so I moved out. I gave my wife chances after chances. There was no change.
First of all, I respect him for being homeless and still finding a way to work out, because, hey, not only that your physical health is important, but your mental health, and that little workout right there probably helps out his mental health more than anything. But that actually happens to a lot of people that becomes homeless, losing everything through a marriage or a divorce.
Clothes right here. So yeah, just come along with me, man. Hey, man, about to go up in here in this store and find me something to eat. 'Cause, you know, and then we're gonna try to get our day started. You know, it's crazy, but yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, that does happen in a lot of situations. Someone goes through a divorce, they could lose the house in the divorce, have nowhere else to stay, end up being homeless, or it could be someone actually running from a abusive relationship, and rather than be at home with their abusive partner, they leave and they just got to get out, and they end up being homeless with nowhere to stay at the time. So relationships is another reason why people end up homeless in America. It's just not always about finding a job and having a job. Sometimes you're just in bad situations. Let's look at another video. All right, so this one is a little bit on the other side. So let's take a look at what they got to say.
Y'all doing it really? Why did y'all choose to live like that? It gets tiring, bro, going to work every single day and giving your whole day to somebody else. You ain't got no time to do nothing you want to do. Tired of paying bills, bro.
And the Matrix sucks. We want to keep living in the Matrix. Pretending to be somebody. Pretending to be something that we not. Want to live off. Want to be inspired by these celebrities. They don't got shit for real to offer.
Exactly, the
Half
Matrix.
these niggas are spiritually dead. You don't want to realize that, because a lot of niggas realize till too late.
That's a fact. It's best to live off the grid, bro. Focus on yourself. It's hard to focus on yourself.
And you worried about bills.
Worrying about bills every day. How you gonna pay this? How you gonna pay that?
Worried about being seen. Having a nice car. Having every pair of shoes that come out.
It's a fact. Y'all listen to the goddess, man. Y'all listen to the goddess. She not lying. That stuff get old after a while. It gets tiring. get boring.
Too many females out here want to be.
If more women were like her, you already in a better place. Yep. You already know, man. Said, what about the winter? What about winter? There ain't gonna no such thing as winter. Don't get cold out here, bro.
I wonder what I already know what they is. They must be down south. There ain't no winter.
Still gonna be eating fruit. Still gonna be eating vegetables. Still gonna be outside in the sun. If it get too cold here, we're just gonna go further down south. That's the beauty of van life. You can get up and leave whenever you want to. Just keep going down south. That's really all it come down to.
Okay, so sometimes being homeless is by choice. They was tired of being stuck inside of the matrix. They wanted to escape the matrix of waking up every day just to live, to go to work and work just to pay the bills, just to live. So other than being considered homeless, they considered of not being homeless, but using the earth as their home. Earth is their home. They're going to live off the land, live the van life, grow their own fruit. Whenever it's warm, that's where they're going to drive to. They actually live inside of a van. The van life has become so popular over the last decade. Van life has become popular because people are just tired of paying so many bills, just waking up and going to work, and they're living, eating fruit. He said, no matter, we're going to have fruit, no matter where we go, fruit and vegetables, no matter where we go. And we're going to continue to just live off of earth. So what they're doing, they're not in the bad situation. They're actually living, they're calling earth their home, and they're going to live off of that. So just because they're homeless doesn't mean that they're homeless, because earth is their home. So that's a pretty cool way to look at it. Okay, this young lady's about to show how she survived being homeless, part 1.
Hey you guys, I want to come here and give you guys a couple tips on how to survive being homeless. Tip number 1, don't tell anyone.
That's the number 1 rule always. Don't tell nobody. Real talk.
No, don't tell nobody your situation, because people will mistreat you when they know that you need them.
People are always going to be people. Humans are always going to be humans. So the least they know, especially if you're struggling, the least anybody else knows, the better.
That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is do not get on social media telling people your story, your sad situation, because really nobody cares. People just going to start spreading your business like a wildfire. Tip number 3, if you do go and stay with anybody, don't stay no longer than 3 days, because you overstay your welcome if you stay more than 3 days. So get a little calculation of how many people that you know that you can crash at their house for 3 days, but do not stay more than 3 days. Definitely if you got kids.
Yeah, nope. 3 days max, then you gotta go.
Number 4 is to make sure that you getting yourself financially together in regards to being stable. So try to look for a job, and also this is where your faith kick in. Start looking for apartments and start looking for housing. My situation was, I was 19 when I was homeless, and I basically was struggling with 2 kids and whatnot, and I didn't have any evictions or anything like that because I was basically still a teenager. But anyways, so long story short, you basically want to connect with a landlord that's willing to give you an opportunity, because the landlord I connected to, he gave me an opportunity. I did not have no job or anything like that. He took a leap of faith as well as I did, and that was nobody but God. Tip number 5 is do not be out here drinking and smoking, and your situation is messed up like that. Do not, because drinking and smoking do not solve anything. No.
Don't solve anything at all. And it costs too much money.
Get your bread together. Get your head together to get your bread together. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Get your head together. Get your bread together. I like that.
And another thing too is seek counseling from a church or a pastor or somebody. Get somebody who's spiritual that can join you in prayer and pray you out of the situation. Because in my situation, I literally was suicidal, sitting in my car ready for God to take my life. I'm like, come on, let's go, God. I'm not fit to be no mother. I'm sitting here struggling. I'm sitting here sleeping in my car, and it's cold outside. Like, what's going on? So that, and then also tip number 7, I would basically say to go over everything I already just said. Keeping your hygiene in order, making sure your hair and stuff is up to par, making sure your kids ain't out here ready, because CPS is also real. If people already know that you can't take care of the kids and you drop your kids off at school late or not taking them to school at all, CPS will get involved. So I thank God that my children was under the age of, school age. But no, definitely you can survive being homeless. I survived. You can survive too.
So that's some good tips on being homeless and how to get out of it. Save your money. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Pray. Take a leap of faith and ask for some help with apartments and somebody will look out for you.
Last year I lost my job due
All
to a blizzard. I ended up getting sick. I couldn't work a Saturday. Saturdays was mandatory. They let me go because I was performing. I was sick and I still went to work and my performance was low. So they let me go. I lost everything, lost my crib, house.
So that's another way someone can become homeless. If you get sick, he sat through a blizzard and ended up getting sick, or he could have lost his house in a natural disaster and still ended up homeless that way. But he ended up getting sick, probably lost his job because he couldn't work and he couldn't afford to stay where he stayed anymore.
Cars. Ended up losing my girl. I can't see my kid because I don't have any income. She's mad and tired of me because I lost my vehicle. I was sleeping in my car before I was completely homeless. And I went to Miami because it was so cold up here.
That's another trend. If you're homeless, you can't be in that cold. So people move south. We're going to skip over this one a little bit because it's a long video. But basically, a lot of people end up homeless because of situations that they can't handle. He ended up getting sick because of a blizzard. Like, people can't control tornadoes, blizzards, hurricane, losing everything in a hurricane. I know Florida just got hit by a hurricane. Texas get hit by hurricanes all the time. So just imagine losing your home and then losing your job just because you get sick. And then after you sick and hopefully recover from being sick, you no longer have a job and you can't afford your home and you end up becoming homeless that way. So that's another way people end up becoming homeless. Okay, so he's been living inside his car for the last 385 days. Okay. All right, so he's homeless by choice, right? So he's living inside his car to save money and become a content creator and recorded everything. So not everybody is homeless because of forcefully being homeless, but he's actually homeless by choice, living out his dreams. I might have to have muted out that sound because it has some music in there. But yeah, basically, you're not missing any audio. He's living out of his car, saving money, doing Uber Eats, making money inside his car while he's continuing to become an actual content creator. So I like seeing that.
This is your sign to start creating on social media if you've ever had an inkling to do so. What I have realized starting this journey is people will always try to bring you down, especially with a screen that blocks real human interactions to avoid real confrontation. I was so down deep in my life that I needed an outlet, so I just started posting on social media. Never in a million years did I think that doing so would be the best decision of my life. As most of you may know, I have been living in my car full-time now with a goal to save $30,000 in 5 months to be able to build a life that I've always dreamt of, which is to have a safe spot for families to go to so that they can build a life that they've always wanted. With social media being my main source of income and doing Uber Eats when needed to help achieve those goals, I have successfully achieved my goal to make $4,414 in 1 month, with the remaining goal of $16,628 to go. If you're called to content create, don't let people on social media scare you from doing what you want. As long as you're being kind to others, however you choose your direction, people will always talk smack. So don't let the fear of them stop you from living your true purpose.
Okay, so she living out of her car doing Uber Eats just to save money. Her goal is to save $30,000 and probably gonna do something with that money once she gets to $30,000. But that's the trend. People living inside their car, being homeless. They usually do Uber Eats, DoorDash, something like that to make money. And now it's becoming a bigger trend to be a content creator and record yourself doing that to make even more money from content. Let's take a look at one more last content creator doing this. That's absolutely killing it.
On social media.
Wake up. Get out of there. You can't sleep here.
Let's see what happens if I DoorDash for 12 hours today, or until I reach $300. First thing in the morning, I take down my window covers, transforming it from sleeper mode into delivery mode. Then I pulled up to Planet Fitness to charge up my power stations that I use to cook on my air fryer. Now it's time to go get my benchmarks at Planet Fitness, which technically doesn't count because I'm using a Smith machine, but I was able to do a 45, 25, and a 10 on each side. My goal is 225. I don't even know how much I benched, but then I gassed up at Costco because it's the cheapest, and I do not have a membership. I literally just pull up and ask the person next to me if I can use their card.
He's straight up thugging it. I love it.
Every time. Then it's time to start the 12-hour shift of DoorDash. As some of you may know, I do multi-app delivery, so I'm not just delivering on DoorDash, I'm also doing Uber Eats and Instacart at the same time, which is a cardinal sin in the delivery business, so all of this is AI. Don't fire me, DoorDash. Today, I was able to reach my $300 delivery goal in 11 hours. Plus, from the videos, I made $528 today. Daily profit is $790. New total saved is $59,669. Follow me to see the tiny home.
So wow, so he's up to $60,000, making around $800 every single day, $300 in delivery, $500+ in from content creating. I'm sure he posts on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. So this is another person that's homeless by choice, that's actually recording his homeless life, living out the car, not even van life, straight up living out the car, showering at Planet Fitness, cooking on an electric stove. And he's actually making money. So this is another situation of someone being homeless by choice. And there we go, dreamers. Being homeless inside of the United States is tricky. So you can't judge everyone by the same book on the cover. There's a lot of situations that can make someone homeless. It could be their health. Someone could have died, lost a job, got divorced by choice even, or just want to use Earth as their own home. So every person you walk by on the street is not in the same situation. So you can't all look at them. Well, you shouldn't be looking at anybody like any kind of way, because first of all, you shouldn't judge. But this video was to just show you different situations people are homeless and how they're living their homeless life and how they actually got to become homeless. So if you see someone on the street today, give them $1, help them out. And to help me from becoming homeless, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button to this new channel. I'm going to continue to try to grow it and push out great content to you guys at least 3 to 2 times every single week. So hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future video. If you guys do want to learn how to create some passive income and learn how to invest, I run the Dream Green Show where I talk about investing. You guys could join the Patreon. That link is going to be down in the description. That'll take you to my Discord where I teach you guys how to invest and make passive income. But other than that, guys, I'm Zeke, bringing you the Dream Green Conversations, and I'm out. Peace.